Hi, y'all. Welcome to this week's episode of Ducking Realitea. Today we have another returning guest, and I'm very excited about this because we've been trying to do this, but she's such a busy lady. Today we have Karen Beckels in, and you might remember Karen from Rikers to Reiki. And I loved our conversation, Karen. Welcome back, first of all.
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah.
I loved our conversation too. It's so easy to talk to you.
Thank you. I learned so much about you because I had no idea before we sat down about the Rikers and you being an ICE agent. So a couple weeks ago when everything was really popping off with what's going on with the ICE, I thought like maybe having Karen come back would be really an interesting thing. Because I know we talked about kind of your moral dilemma being in that position while you're in it. So I'm really interested to see what your thoughts are on what's happening now and since you were in that role, what it's like for you to watch it happen now and what your kind of feelings are and kind of give us some of the inside baseball on that and the changes that are happening.
Yeah. Is it a good time to talk to me? Sure it is. But also, you know what? Yes, it's a good time. I'm feeling a lot of different things and I have a lot of thoughts. And I guess I'll preface it by saying it's my thoughts, my opinion, my perspective.
Right.
Based off, of course, my career and my own experience in it. And so, yes, ICE. So I was an immigration detention enforcement officer with formerly known Immigration and Naturalization Service. After I left there is when they started calling it ICE and all of that. So, this is hard to watch. You know, I enjoyed and very proud of my career. And I'm to watch it go to be presented like this, for this behavior, all this that's happening, it's disheartening. It really is. And I mean, I have to say it makes me very angry. It's very disturbing. That's probably the best word. Very disturbing. For a number of reasons. I guess I'll pause and see if there's something you would ask.
Yeah.
I'd be going on and on.
No, I mean, kind of. Well, I wanted to first catch up with you, but I think I'm so I've been reading all morning about the different ICE things, so my brain is so in that kind of sphere that I figured that maybe we'd start there and then we'll end with some good positivity about what's going on with you.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
That way too, we can leave our listen. And I thought one of the other reasons why I thought you were a really good person to have this conversation with is because people can listen to our conversation and kind of get to know you from that conversation and know kind of what you're about. And then hearing how you're feeling about it now helps, I think, give people like a bigger window into what someone that has done that job and thinks of it as happening now. So we want to hear your thoughts on it and, feelings, and because you're kind of our trusted person that we can get insight from.
Well, I appreciate that. Times have changed, of course. I believe, I want to say it was 1990, I think, 90 or 91. It's been so long. When I happened upon the job, I just left New York City Corrections, and I was looking at the federal website, and matter of fact, there was some. Now it's coming back to me. It was a big thing that happened where a bunch of INS officers were arrested for something. And so there was a need for them. And I was like, INS, I'll apply. And so I did. And this is when they had just the form where you fill out the application. I ran across my old one, and it was such a long application. And I really didn't have, I had the correctional experience, but they said they'll train you and you go away for 8 weeks. And that's how I wound up working there. This was in New York on Varick Street. And, you go away for the training, which is at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Glencoe, Georgia. And I remember back then, when you think, and this is the Law Enforcement Training Center that has, I don't even remember, a lot of different agencies, and I can't remember all of them, but there's so many of them. And I remember the Federal Bureau of Prisons and Immigration Naturalization Service, they're like at the bottom of the totem pole. Like, with prestige and like who you were and the salary. And but to me it was some of the best training I ever had. And because they cover immigration law. So we'll get into that in a minute. Immigration law, it's not the same as being a police officer. There are other things that have to be considered when you are detaining or arresting, things like that. So yeah, so I was there, Varick Street. It was a detention center, and we our duties were working in a service processing center where they would receive undocumented individuals, and some, let's see, some were had criminal offenses,
Right.
and some were just they entered the country illegally or whatever. And being in New York, it's funny that on the New York side, it was more like Dominican Republic, China, like whatever's on that end. I don't know.
Right.
I can't even remember now. And I also was that in Miami, Florida, and Chrome Service Processing Center. So it's really interesting because Chrome is in the news, right? That's the one in Miami where they were housing a bunch of people, and it was getting out of how they were being treated. So for me, all of the things that they're talking about now, immigration, Chrome Service Processing, I was there. Federal Bureau of Prisons has
Right.
been in the news. Dublin, the place I used to work at, they closed that institution. So yeah, there's a whole lot I have to say about all of it. What I will say, it disrupts my spirit when I see these videos of the immigration officers with their mask on and their sunglasses, and they're assaulting people and kidnapping people. Because to me, even having done the job, that's what it looks like to me.
It's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. Even when there were certain operations, it's not very often that I remember in my career covering our faces, right? The covering of face came with a helmet and a shield. But
Not bandanas and dark sunglasses.
right, like, and you can see the badge displayed. You can clearly see my name. I'm identifying you who I am.
Right.
I'm Detention Enforcement Officer Beckels. This, and be able to tell you why I'm talking to you, or why you're being taken in custody, or why you're being deported. And so watching it is like, I don't believe all of them are immigration officers. Some of them are probably, right. They went through the training. I feel as though some of them are bounty hunters, right?
Oh.
And some of them are from other agencies, right? Because then they've also talked about that. Oh, they have pulled from different agencies to do that. I don't know how legal that is, right? Like, and again, I mean, I'm 60 now. It's been many years. I've been retired for 10 years.
Right.
And immigration has been about 20 years since I've worked there. But there's training that you have to have. Like, immigration can't just make an arrest on the street, right? None of us, or any of us at the time, unless you see a criminal act at that time and you are, for a property or loss of life. Other than that, police can't, like arrest someone for immigration laws, and immigration can't arrest somebody for criminal law.
Right.
There are things in place that prevent that. I remember,
or there was.
Yeah, I remember when I went from immigration to the Federal Bureau of Prisons. The Federal Bureau of Prisons during my panel, you have a panel of people that question you, and I remember them saying, "Okay, so if you have an inmate on the fence and they're going over the fence, can you shoot them?" And I remember saying, I don't think so. And I was, because to me, from immigration, you can't shoot them in the back, right? And so I found myself conflicted, and they were telling me I was answering it wrong. You tell them to get off the fence and they don't get off the fence, you have every right to shoot them. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, I get it. But for me, it was like it's like now people are doing it because they can,
Right.
as opposed to, are there other actions I can take before I shoot you?
Right.
Like, get off the fence, give you some commands, maybe wait for someone to arrive on the other side of the fence. Like, it's going to take a lot to go over this fence, and very much like what's happening now, like, and this is police and immigration, this assault. And I'm not the only one. I worked with many people that we were really good communicators,
Mm-hmm.
that we de-escalated the situation, um, professional enough to do our jobs, as opposed, and also keeping things separate. And see, I'm about to go off on a tangent now, because what shows up for me is there is a disconnect. And because of my practice now and my own healing, as an officer, you become disconnected from yourself. You don't even realize it's happening. It happens over time. It happens, with little things. And I feel like these people are disconnected from themselves. In a profession where you are, your job is to serve and protect, or in corrections or immigration, be firm, fair, and consistent. We lose that along the way. But also in the training, they don't teach you how to maintain your humanity. They don't teach you how to be compassionate. And somewhere along the line, you begin to look at everyone, you lump everyone in this one category, and what I feel like people are not all, the people that is for this whole, yeah, let's snatch them all up and take them out of the country because they're criminals. One thing I know, I have to say this, and hopefully somebody will hear it. So we already know that, and I don't mean it offensively, but you're going for the easy ones,
Right.
right? You're going for the ones that, like, I really want to stay in this country. I have a court date. I'm going. You're going for the ones that's, I just want to earn a living. I'm at Home Depot. Hey, what kind of work can I do? Because if you was going for the gang members,
Yep.
you'd have a bigger fight. There would be loss of it'd be great loss on that side. So you're really going for the easy ones. And to me, you're cowards. They're doing it for the numbers, to be able to say we grabbed all these people up. But our streets are not safer.
No. And if anything, they're more dangerous because they're making it easier for people who are bad actors to pretend to be. Like, that's my biggest fear,
Yeah.
is they're letting ICE officers be covered up and do this and not really say who they are. And they're just going snatching people off the street. How many bad actors are now out there doing the same thing and snatching someone off the street that people don't realize that? Like, is there a serial killer among us, like, that we haven't discovered yet because everyone's putting up, like, their missing family members to ICE?
Yes.
Like, that's the shit that scares me the most.
Yes.
Is like the people that are taking advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah. That scares me too. And I'm someone that, like, I think, you uphold the law, you give respect, to me, years ago, people would grow up and they say, oh, I want to be a police officer. Police officer is one that you trusted, right? I remember my kids, I would say, hey, if you ever get lost or disconnected from the family, find a police officer. Now I'm like, what do you tell your kids?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because not everyone in a uniform is safety.
Right.
Not everyone is there to protect you, and, the Congress people in, what was it? Arizona? No, where's the one where they went to the house and they assassinated them? They opened the door because the person was in a uniform.
Mm-hmm.
People open the door because it's a uniform. People allow themselves to be pulled over because you have a light.
Right.
All of these things are accessible. You can get lights, red and blue lights. You can get a car that looks like a police car. You can get a uniform. They said the whole shebang, the INS stuff or ICE, was on Amazon. Like, who is doing this?
Right.
Like you said, they've created an unsafe environment for us, society, the citizens, but also for themselves. Because then you get mad when people resist.
Right.
How can you get mad?
Right. And if you're coming up, and it's like you said, like, they are going for the easy targets. They said they were going to go for gang members and criminals.
Yes.
But instead of going to prisons and being like, oh, all of you have been already convicted. We're going to deport you first.
Yes.
They didn't clean out the jails and
Nope.
deport the people that are already
'Cause it's
proven
money.
guilty. Right.
Yes.
And that's the other, like, how people aren't realizing that this is all a money grab too.
Mhm.
Like the new, and I really can't even believe it is in existence, but the alligator Alcatraz. Like, well, I really thought that was like an Onion article the first time I saw it.
So did I.
I thought it was like fake. I thought it couldn't
Yep.
be real.
Fake
Like,
news.
we're so beyond treating humans like that.
Mhm.
And then I realized it was real. And then it's privately owned. So that's just the government giving their friends a way to make money off of slavery or people.
Yes.
Like, and how are people not, or how did they not think this was going to happen? Like, if ICE was really, or like the government really just wanted to get the bad criminals out, why not go to clean out the jails first? Get all of the people that are there that are legal immigrants who have been like gone through due process.
Yeah.
You know, they committed crimes. Take them all out of jail and put them in their own countries.
Yeah.
Start there.
Yes.
And then go out to the gang member where you know they are and take them. But you're going to Home Depot and you're going to farms and you're going to places that like restaurants and bars to rest. That's not the people that you need to. Those people are paying taxes.
Yes.
Like,
I forgot what the number is. I don't know.
Yeah,
90-something million or something.
One state already lost so much money from their immigrants being gone that they have, like, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not even thinking all of this through. And then you're letting them go out dressed as criminals to arrest people. And you're saying like that's okay?
Yeah. And that's what tells me and everyone that this is this is all racism, right? It's removing people of color.
Yeah.
That's really what it boils down to, you know. And you know, you brought up the deporting those that are already in our custody. You know, I remember because there was a time when if they were convicted of something, they would do their time and they could still be
released
part
back,
of be released. And I remember when I started, it's around that time that they were like, no, if you have committed a crime, you will be deported. And I totally get it. You know, I mean, you know, as compassionate as humane as I treat people, I get it, right? If you've come to this country and then you've committed crime, by all means, let's deport you. But what they would do is they put you through the process. You're now convicted. You go serve time in one of our jails or prisons or whatever, and then we deport you. You come back and they can keep you for 5 years for coming back. And they do for the money. To me, why not make a continuous thing of deporting them back?
Yeah.
Let's keep playing this game, right? It's like, you know, it's like telling your kid to pick their coat up and hang it up, and they don't. Every day you tell them the same thing. So just keep doing it. And then
and that would deter people right there.
Yeah. Or at the very least, we are showing that, yes, we're not going to stand. We're just going to keep doing this. But instead, we, you know, okay, so you're here for the crime, and then we detain you longer because to me it's all money, as opposed, and then of course, just criminals with all they have activated all of these ICE people, and there's still so much crime.
Mm-hmm.
If you put them to maybe see what's happening with these smash and grabs, all the drugs, you're a bunch of cowards.
Right.
Like that's the only thing I can think of with these people. I've worked with some of the strongest, most courageous people, and I look at these people and I say, you're all cowards. Like, first of all, there's so many of them, and then you still run because, like, oh my gosh, there's so much I could say about it. And then again, the mask.
Right.
So the way I look at the mask thing is this. You know, I remember years ago, I'm a correctional officer, and I am who I say I am. And I'm so glad I am. My ex-wife was my wife at the time. She knew what I did. And she, you know, I tell her the type of work I do. She might run into someone in the street, so she knew who I was. But I was at work one day, and this woman comes in, and she was visiting with her partner who was visiting his mother or something. And she was in visiting. And she says, excuse me, my partner's talking with his mother. I don't want to disturb them. can I have a Bible? Now in the visiting room, we don't have any Bibles. And I said, oh, yeah, let me go to the chapel and get you a Bible. I went and got her a Bible and gave it to her. We talked for a minute. She was very appreciative. A few months later, I'm at my ex-wife, or my wife at the time. She was graduating from UC Berkeley. And this woman says, I know you. It was my ex-wife's godmother. And she says, you gave me the Bible. And I said, oh, yeah. Can you imagine if I had said to her, no, I mean, is that what you come here for? You want to read the Bible? You're supposed to be visiting. Now, I've seen this happen.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's nothing. What am I going to get from... What am I going to get from that? I just get your Bible. I worked with people that wouldn't have given her a Bible. I work with people that treat visitors like crap.
Yeah.
And so I remember thinking, I'm so glad I'm who I say I am. Because when I met her godmother, she was like, oh my God, you have a great human being here. Like, thank you. So I look at these masks. It would be hard to unsee what you see. So if I come home every day and I'm like, yeah, this is the work I do, and you see me picking up little Johnny or little Sue, and I'm, whatever, having a great time, and you're looking at me like a great partner, a great parent. If you looked on the TV and you see me snatching a kid away from their mother or taking the parent and leaving the kid on the street, and you see my face, and I come home, it'd be kind of hard to unsee, like, oh, wait a minute. But you play with our kids. You're a loving parent. You're a loving spouse. And so I think them covering themselves up, first of all, it's their own shame. Like, your family, your neighbors, your friends may know this is the work you do. But if they see your face, they hear your voice, they're not going to look at you the same way. They're not.
I hadn't even thought about it from that way. And I usually think about things from a lot of different perspectives, but I've only been thinking about it for them protecting like themselves from retaliation against people that see that, like people they don't know. I hadn't even thought about the fact that people they do know, seeing them do that.
When you asked me that I want to come back, I thought, oh, Savannah's really going to love this one.
Yeah.
I figured that because when it clicked with me, I was like, wait a minute. That is a huge part of it. That is my belief because you see how I am, right? And if I was still an officer, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, probably a good human being. And then if you saw me doing this, you'd be like, that's Karen?
Right.
Like, how could we have the same relationship? We couldn't.
We wouldn't.
It would change everything.
It would.
What am I going to say to you? Well, it's my job. What do you mean it's your job?
Yeah.
Like I saw you just snatch this, because it's happened. They separate and they'll leave a 12-year-old on the street.
Yeah.
And they're like my kid. And they're just, what kind of friendship, what kind of relationship could we have at that point? You'd be like, well, explain to me how you did this. Well, it was my orders. What do you mean it was your orders?
Right. Yeah. And like not all orders should be followed.
Right.
That was made clear. Like,
And so as I try to process all this and I decided I'm writing a memoir actually, finally.
Yes.
And I'm also like just writing stories and reflecting. And I find that it's part of my own healing. You carry all your stories of life. This is a story that, I think I had a really good career, but it doesn't discount what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've witnessed, what I have felt. And so now as I tell these stories, I find like, oh, I feel better, right? And just to be able to also validate the stories of those impacted, right? So when we think about the prisons, I can tell you some stories that will have people thinking differently about those incarcerated. Some are really innocent.
Right.
Some just really made a mistake. Some are really remorseful. Some are trying to keep the peace inside. And some are, the other extreme. But I can also tell you the stories about officers. Some are really good and some are really horrible. Like, for me, let's tell the truth of both sides. Let's stop leaving things out, that disconnection with ourselves. Oh, that right there, like, I've got all these other things going through my head now. There's something I wanted to say, which was, like, well, I'm just going to throw it out. I'll let you piece it together. Every time I see a video where the officer says, stop resisting, I get so angry, especially when you're looking at it and they're not.
Yep.
And again, I try to look at both sides. Does the officer really believe the person is resisting, or is it just become a habit to say it because it justifies your actions, right? So what makes all of this so crazy and terrible is that we don't know who anyone is anymore and why they're acting, right? They talk about, police and law enforcement, the blue line and this family, but we're not telling each other the truth. We're not being honest with each other, right? Someone needs to be able to say, this isn't right. Let's do this differently. Hey, let's reevaluate, as opposed to jumping in and just helping them with their story, right? Like an example would be for me, responding to a situation. I would always tell the people in prison, I'm coming with everything I got, win, lose, or draw. I just don't want to find out you started it. And so even for me in the performance of my duties, I want to make sure I'm doing everything right so that if someone comes to my assistance and anyone gets hurt, I know I was doing the right thing. But what happens is, if you are the one responding, you have to believe the officer. And there lies the problem.
Right.
So if I'm coming and I don't know what happened, but I'm believing that you're doing the right thing. And then when you say, because sometimes maybe you don't see it, stop resisting, in my head, and this is what they're doing, I'm telling you that they're resisting. So now you need to come with some other type of force, right? Or when they start yelling that there are weapons on site, I don't know what you've seen. I have to trust you. And there lies the problem, because I'm trying to trust you, but then there are so many things that happen that tells me I probably shouldn't trust you, but I'm supposed to trust you. But if I tell you I don't trust you, then we're really not a family anymore. So then everyone starts doing the same thing. Stop resisting. And then they're like, oh, and you're looking like, but they're not resisting. But to them, it's justifying the action because they are scared. I get it. You're scared, but you took this job.
Right. Yeah. There's a, and when people say like, well, there has to be, they're human. They have to be scared when they're walking up to that. Like, people will talk about when cops walk up to like a car for pulling over, like they never know if they're going to walk away. I'm like, yeah, but they knew that when they were going to take the job.
Yep.
Like, and I understand, like, every time you walk up, you never know what you're going to get. But like, you also knew that going in.
Yep.
So you have to figure out a way to reconcile that within yourself if you're going to be good at this job.
Yep.
Like, and if you didn't want to be good at that part of the job, then don't do that job. It's not a job where you get to pick and choose. It's not like an office job where you can be like, oh, I'm going to pawn the filing off on that one. This job, you have to be good at all of the parts of it.
Yes.
And the same with ICE officers. Like, if you want to go, like, especially right now, I just saw the package. It's like a $50,000 signing bonus, and they took all the age requirements away, and they took all this away. And so now police officers that have been doing a good job being police officers, or worse, the bad police officers, are all going to go over to this department because it's paying the most. And they're not going for the right reasons. They're going for all like the extras.
Yes.
So now we're going to lose our good police officers and our bad ones to go to this other place where they're almost like in the wild, wild west, and they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yep.
Like, how are we creating? We're just creating more problems and more opportunities for people to do the wrong thing.
Yep. Yeah. I was just having this conversation earlier with Leah. You think about, and then factor in people not being able to find a job, right?
Yeah.
They're taking away health insurance, and anybody can get the job now, right?
Yeah.
There's really no background, because immigration, I want to say it took me maybe about a year and a half. The process is long. There's a whole checking your credit, checking, your mental state, all of these different things, checking, who knows you personally, your neighbors. Yeah. It's such a long thing. And now they're just hiring people just because. And so now you got the hiring age is 21. Now,
I think they even dropped it to 18.
Dear God.
I think it's 18 plus now. I think they removed the age on both sides. I don't think I think it's 18, and there's no upper age limit right now.
And what makes this horrible? What makes this horrible is, when I started my career at 23, I thought I knew it all. When I look back, or even at that time, I shouldn't have been in no one's prison at 23.
No
And
way.
and I'm not discounting anyone's experience, intelligence, and all of that when I say they should probably raise the age for all of them to 25. That's when, your brain is fully developed, right? But also we can hope that you've had some experiences in life, right? An 18-year-old, fresh out of high school with no experiences, no real relationships, no real practice of communicating with
Mhm.
people or being a part of this life experience, how are they gonna, with police or immigration, like how do you handle every situation? Like, you don't even know what to do, right?
Right.
And even because they give you all this training, if they get that now, and the training is the guidelines, right? And then you kind of put your own experiences into it and maintain who you are. But then you have all these people that's already there. They're running amok. Then you get these new people in running amok, so they're being shown how to do a job. No one is performing the duties the way it's supposed to be performed, and that bothers me so much. Think about this moral conflict. Those that have come into this country just for a better life. I remember in New York and especially Florida, knowing they just swam over or whatever. It's hard to then like, oh wow, now we got to deport them. And however, if you gave me a warrant of deportation, I'm going to take them back to their country.
Right.
You know? But so that's me. Okay, they went through the process and this is what they deemed is going to happen. Oh, here's the warrant. It's signed off. This is my job. As opposed to now, you're just snatching people. No one's showing a warrant. They've done what they were supposed to do. You're not even going back. If you're from Honduras, you're not even going back to Honduras. They're saying to El Salvador.
Right.
Who does that? There's a whole process, which is why, if I'm not mistaken, something came up recently. Some countries are not accepting them because there's a process.
Right.
No one is ever deported just dropping them off at the airplane at the airport. There is communication. Hey, we've got 5 of your people from Honduras. Oh, you verified who they are? Okay, here they're coming back to you.
Right.
Okay, they meet you at the airport. They receive them. You can't just, oh yeah, we're just going to send them out of the country, And it's just so like, I'm actually like, I can't even understand what is happening. I can't understand. I also can't understand why you'd want to be a part of it. There's a part of me that's like, okay, survival, people just trying to get a job, but they have no idea what they're about to get into.
Right.
I believe when this is all said and done, already the life expectancy of law enforcement is, I think it's 59. And that's with the stress and all of that stuff.
Right.
There's going to be an increase in domestic violence. There's always high domestic violence, suicide, what do you call it? Drug and alcohol.
Abuse.
All
Yeah.
of that.
Yep.
And then when it's all said and done, there's going to be higher divorce rates. There's going to be more suicide. There's going to be criminal cases. These people.
Child abuse.
Oh, yeah. Because this cannot go so far out of balance and not come back into balance, right? This dude in the office, he's running amok. People are listening to him, and you have to live with you. And you can say all you want. I got this mask on. I've got the shield on. I'm doing the will of the country, and I'm serving this president. Your insides are, man, like just. I don't know.
They're
how
going to start
put it.
rotting.
Yeah,
They're going to start rotting.
You're rotting from the inside out. And the worst part is, eventually, you're going to die with all of that. But in the meantime, everyone else has to suffer from how you are rotting inside because you're not processing it. You're totally going against who we are as human beings. You're totally going against, like, why are they not questioning, like, wait, is this right? Because for me, if I was in immigration today, I'd have quit.
Yeah.
People can say all they want. Oh, it's easy to say you're retired. No, I can tell you I would have quit. There's no way in hell that I would do any of these jobs that are harming people, that are like, and not any understanding of it. Like, it doesn't make sense. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me that we're making this place a safer place.
Yeah, going to someone's immigration case and arresting them there is not making this place.
No.
They're doing all the right things, and you're still going to take them and deport them and be like, "We're saving you." It's not
Yes.
saving me.
Yeah.
That's not saving me at all. Go get the MS-13 guys. Like,
Yes.
you probably know who they all are, but how come you haven't deported? There should be like a, and probably because there would have been like a shootout if they go into MS-13 territory to
Yeah.
try to remove them. There would have been danger for more of them.
Yeah.
But instead of doing that, they're going to Home Depot.
Yes.
Or they're chasing down immigrants on a farm. Like, what?
Yes.
What? No. Like, let them do their job. Like,
That's it.
fruit is rotting because we don't have enough people to pick it. It's not like white people or brown and black
Yeah.
people that were born here want to go do those jobs. They
Yeah,
don't.
None of us.
No.
Right.
Like, no one that has the opportunity to not do that job wants to go do it.
Right. And it's not that, we're like, it's for some people, but I know it's not what I want to do.
Right.
And it's what they want to do. I mean, I don't even know how to put it, because I'm trying to be careful because of what dude said the other day, that dude in the office, he said something about there are naturals at it. He was saying it in a way, he said, brown people, he said, basically he was saying black people won't be on the farm, but he said brown people will be. They're naturals at it. Like, they are naturals at it.
God.
This is what they were born to do. You're like, dude, really? Just the way he phrases things, like if I don't understand how people don't see that this guy is really a racist. He's really trying to do away with all of the people of color,
Well, I don't understand how anyone, like, people have been like, well, I didn't vote for this part. But if you can't vote for just parts of him. And I've had that argument from the beginning. Like, people are like, yeah, but his business policy is really great. He's never been good at business.
Never.
So how do you think his business, and you think his business policy is going to overrun this policy? Like, that never made sense to me. And I really, like, I still have a hard time when people like wanted to vote for him at all.
Oh, I totally agree.
And I try not to get into politics too much, but
Yeah.
it's hard not to anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, you've heard all the things he said about women. You've heard all the things he said. Like, he's been sued over and over for wrongful discrimination, and he's not a good person,
Right.
regardless.
Right.
And people were like, no, but he's going to change. Why would you think he would change anything for the
Right.
better?
Right.
Or anything that has not, like, he's only doing things that puts money in his
Yep,
friends
in
and
his
his kids'
pocket.
pockets.
Yep, exactly.
And then people are just signing off on it.
Yeah. And like you said, when people said, well, I didn't vote for this part. After the election, I remember thinking, I couldn't vote for, I know someone, I'm gay. I know someone that's gay. I know veterans. I know women having babies. Like, everyone that he is against, I know someone. So
Right.
it's not like, even a lot of law enforcement voted for him because they thought they were going to gain something from it. How did you just think as an officer, not as a human being? So all
Right.
of these people thought about themselves. And I remember I did a live thing just to kind of get it out, which is you didn't think about your neighbor, right?
Mm.
Like, I was that neighbor. I would not just cut my lawn. This piece is on my side, and cut it. You didn't think about your neighbor. You didn't think about the person in the grocery store. You didn't think about your teacher. Like, we have to think about all of us. How does it affect all of us? And yeah, all these people regrets now. But he told you.
Right. He told you who he was.
He is a bully, and of course I'm from New York and Jersey, right? You?
No, Boston.
Boston, okay.
Mm,
But everyone on the East Coast knows about Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a joke to all of us.
He was a joke to all of us.
Since I was a kid.
Yes.
I couldn't, when he first started coming out and saying, I was like, that has to be a joke. Like, it's never true. Like,
Yeah.
it's never going to happen.
Never
Like,
happened.
people know who he is. And then here he kept getting more and more popular. And I was like, this can't be happening.
Right.
Like, this has to be like, I have to be in a different universe.
Yes.
And then to see people who not only didn't think about their neighbors, but didn't think of themselves as a full
For
human.
themselves.
Like,
Yes.
for women that were voting for him that didn't realize that he said he was going to overturn Roe v. Wade. Like, so if you were voting for him for his business as a woman, but you weren't thinking about your own rights, like, how did you not think of yourself as a full human being?
Yeah.
You thought just about this one part, like, you just thought about your wallet.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people were saying, oh, I voted for with my wallet. Okay, but what about the rest of you? What about
Yes.
your house? What about your
Yes.
taxes? What about your,
all
like,
of that?
all of that? You're only voting for one issue? Like,
Yep.
how did we get distilled down to only one issue means something?
Yep.
Like, the way democracy is supposed to work is that you don't get everything you want.
Right.
You get most of it, and you
Right.
get kind of happy with where you met in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get everything you want. I don't get everything that we want, but it's
Right.
somewhat even,
Yeah.
and we're
It's
both
kind of
benefit.
fair, you know,
Yeah.
it's not like really hurtful. Like, you know, and to every time he says, "Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know anything about it." He has such a big ego that he wants to know about everything. And so for you to be okay with not knowing, no, I told them not to touch Medicaid and Social Security, but we're telling you they did. No,
Right.
no, they didn't. You know, no, I didn't know that Ghislaine, whatever her name is, was just transferred to a camp. I didn't know anything about it. But you're not doing anything about that either.
Right.
You know, like to me, he has shown himself. He has said it. The bullying, even the way he talks about tariffs and countries. He's trying to sound like a mob boss. Yeah, because I told him they're gonna have to pay us, and you know, I'm like so over this. Like I keep waiting for someone to say, "It's Saturday Night Live," you know, because this is such a joke. Here's a guy that's never had a successful business,
Right.
a successful marriage, a successful relationship with his children, business partners, and y'all thought he could run this country?
Mm-hmm. And you thought he was going to run it somewhere other than into the ground.
Right. Who ever saw it? Well, we also, those
So
that
many
knew
of it-
him, we knew this was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen this fast. Like,
Oh, yeah. I didn't think that everyone would roll over as much as they've rolled over to him and just kowtow to him and like, okay, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's giving away, what is it, the Trump Gold Card? It's like $5 million and you can become a citizen. Like, and is that money actually going to the government now? Because that's my other question. Or is that just going to his own personal bank account?
The jet plane, his friendship with Putin. What is happening
The
here?
jet
right?
plane.
Yeah. The cryptocurrency thing.
Ugh.
You know, you got people spending for time. This guy.
It's the greatest grift ever, and we're all just watching it.
Yes. And he sits up there and he says, oh, I don't take the president's salary. You don't have to, dude. The president's salary is a drop in the bucket to the amount of money he and his family have made.
Yeah. Yeah, he just had dinner with the Bitcoin people.
Yeah.
Like, that's a pay to play. And you
Yes.
can't spin it any other way. Like, he is making money off the presidency left and right. And people are like, oh, well, no, that's not real. It's in the Constitution.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
can we get back to that? I mean, I know people can't read cursive anymore, but
right.
ChatGPT can fix that. Like,
yes. Yeah.
and just, yeah. And I don't, it's so disgusting to me.
It is. I mean, you know, again, you know, it's like we're already unsafe, and now our police, ICE, the military, everyone is suspect. Like, no one wants to say, no. Isn't that the oath I took? This is not in the program statements. This is not in the policy procedures. This is against the Constitution. Someone has to say it for other people to say it. But that one person is thinking this is a betrayal. I don't want to be outcasted. I don't know why they think this one guy has so much power. This one guy, what is he, 80?
Yeah.
Why does this man have so much power that all the way down to, and I'm not saying all police, because there are a lot of people, a lot of heads of the police that are saying, yeah, we're not getting into all that. That's not what we're here for.
Right.
So I applaud them, or the politicians that are standing up, you know. These Republicans that, it's insulting the things that they want us to believe. You know, I was watching something the other day, yesterday as a matter of fact, and they asked Trump, did he have a group of people meeting today regarding Ghislaine and all of that stuff? And he says, no, not at all. And then Vance says, no, there's no meeting about it. And on my way over here, before I looked on YouTube, there was a meeting about it today.
Of course.
Like, this lying, and like, we're living in a time to question everything.
Yeah.
You know, I've always said that, like, even in law enforcement, you know, people are lazy. People want to say, oh, well, how do I do this? And then someone tells them, you know, I when I first started, every institution, whether it had been corrections or immigration or Bureau of Prisons, you start work, and I believe I was trained by the best. And the best always told me, this is how we do the job, but also always check for yourself. There are
Mm,
there are policy procedures, there are rules and regulations, there are post orders. Read for yourself. Don't take anyone's word for it. So I never did. And so I always told people that when they came in, right? And the people that train me would say, this place is whatever you want it to be, right? Don't take on other people's attitude or whatever. And I remember after I was started training people and they'd say, well, so how do you like working here? Because I heard this place sucks. So I heard this and that. And I say, I don't know why they would tell you that. You know, why are they still here then?
right.
You know, every job has its ups and downs, but don't take anything personal. Know what your duties are and do them. You can't go wrong. You know, it's people wind up falling into it, and I could say one thing, and then someone else would tell them, "Well, that's not how we do it." What do you mean that's not how we do it? Is all of these things are in place um, so that we're always on the right side.
Right.
You know, that whatever action you did take, you can justify it. And for me, I always want to be able to justify my actions. And when I going back to what we were talking about before about police being scared, I get scared. I was my entire career was scary. And people could tell me they went, oh, the Dublin you worked at, that wasn't a real prison. It's a real prison.
Prison. Yeah.
At any time things could jump off, you know. But um and if I just looked at Rikers was scary. The house detention for men. Chrome Service Processing Center. We had the Mario Cubans there. We had people that did not care. Because you have people that really don't want to go back to their country.
Right.
And they will die before they do. And so I've been in that situation. And to me, it's not fun to suit up and to fight you. My entire career was, okay, how can I talk my way out of something? Because, yeah, I'm scared,
Right.
you know, and it's about everyone's safety. But some of these people out here, they look at this as, oh, this is rec time. You know, this is the time that they get to get those feelings out, whatever, their failed marriage, their failed selves, and take it out on other people. And some of these people don't even realize that it's happening. And that's what I mean when I say it happens over time. Like I was thinking earlier, you know, there's so many things that's taken personally. So whatever happened before you got to work, if you don't let it go, like I have to give an example. If you sign up for the job, so sometimes you might be mandated for overtime. Someone didn't show up, so you have to
Right.
stay. I had plans. I could spend the next 8 hours being mad because I had plans. Or I could be like, well, this is what I signed up for. I'm getting paid for it, all this stuff. And what would happen is, and I know it happens with all across the board. So I got stuck. I'm now mad. Someone else throws something in the wrench. Oh, you should be mad because so-and-so did that before.
Right.
So now I'm not just mad that I'm stuck. I'm mad at the person that called out that made me stay. Now, I'm not thinking about that this person maybe needed a mental health day, or maybe they're actually sick, or maybe they had an emergency. I'm just mad. So we talk about this person, and every time it happens, we begin to talk about those people that make this happen to us. But then when we do it, how come no one understands, right?
Right.
But everybody's so busy being mad. And so with that anger, now I got to spend a whole shift. And now maybe someone that's incarcerated is having a bad day. But now I get someone to take it out on. So now I'm yelling at you and you're yelling at me. And so that transfers to me with police also. Somebody's mad about something and now you got an attitude and I'm taking it out on you. But if you don't check yourself, you know, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I always try to not take it personal. Even if someone was yelling at me, I'd be like, I see you're a little upset here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you vent. I'm not going to take this personal. And depending on how I'm talking to them, they usually, no, it's not you, Miss Beckels. You know, what it is. And then we get to see what it is, you
Right.
know?
And then you get to solve the problem.
Yeah, you get to solve the problem. And also, like, really, like, taking accountability and owning it. You know, everybody wants to, whatever. Oh, this happened because I was scared. Oh, so that's why you didn't give clear commands. That's why you thought the person was reaching for this or that, or they didn't do what I asked. They weren't respectful. Their tone.
Right.
Your job is to maintain professionalism. I've had people, you know, oh, you let them yell at you? I'm not letting them yell at me. Like, it's not personal.
Right.
Hey,
You're giving
so
them like a little grace
right.
to have their
What's
feelings.
really going on with
Yeah.
you? You know, when a police officer does a stop and they're like, well, people should just comply. If you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day. I've been that person. I always think about Sandra Bland, right? Sandra Bland, that could have been me on any given day being pulled over by the police and given them attitude, right? Smoking a cigarette in my car, and the dude's like, put your cigarette out. Dude, like, I'm in my car. What do you mean, right? Well, watch your tone. What do you mean watch my tone? That's that the sensitive officer that, oh, you have to respect me as the officer. I'm telling you to do it because I said so and I can do this. Let's go back to where you were trained. What do you really have the right to do?
Right.
And if someone is, I don't know.
Yeah, as an officer, you shouldn't be able to tase me because I had a tone in my voice.
Yeah.
Like that. Because I completely agree. I grew up, like, when I was younger, I thought cops were like the safe thing. And then as I got older, I realized sometimes they're the most dangerous thing. And I have my own experience with different police officers that I was like, oh, yeah, that could probably be like a case, like on them, not on me, like things that had happened. And then I realized like they're not always safe. And so my respect level for police dwindled.
Yes.
So like in my 20s, even in my 30s, I would completely have given you an attitude, especially like, I know I'm not really doing anything wrong. What are you going to give me a speed ticket? I'm leaving. Like, whatever, dude, get out of my face, like that kind of attitude. And only because of my own experience with police officers being like, yeah, not all of you are good.
Right.
Granted, there are a ton of good ones and I know so many good ones and so many of them have shown up to help me and I respect them. But knowing like not all of them are like that is like, okay, well, what am I dealing with here?
Right.
And I could totally see myself being like, yeah, whatever. You can't tell me what to do in my car.
And at the same time, right, if they pull you over and say, so you were speeding, you're like, okay, like, I'm gonna write this ticket. Okay. And what is wrong with you saying, well, can you just make it quick?
Yeah.
He should be able to say, either yes, or go back to your car and take a minute. I don't care whichever one. But instead, they're like, well, what do you mean? Like, I'm in a rush. Oh, in a rush? Is that why you were speeding?
Yeah, it is why I'm speeding.
It's like they keep doing. I was pulled over the other day. And dude said, it was a highway patrol too. And I was on my way somewhere. And he says, I pulled you over because of your registration is expired. I said, I know. And he said, okay, well, do you have a driver's license, insurance, and registration? I said, well, we already know I don't have my registration.
Right.
And they were really nice about, I got to fix the ticket, whatever. But, I'm not going to have a bad well, I have had bad tones before, but don't base how you treat me off of how I treat you. You're the professional, right? So even if you're like, hey, come on, like, I'm in a rush, I could say, I totally understand that. Let me go write this ticket for you. Because the other thing is, why do I want to hold you longer? Right? And they take it personal. Because you said that, I'm going to go back to my car and I'm going to sit for the next 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you're in a rush. I don't even care. I pulled you over. Let me give you this ticket. Let me send you on your way.
Yeah. Because why should it be more than that?
Yeah,
Other than your ego.
You shouldn't have said that to me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's the tone. Like, you're the professional. Just do your job. Write the ticket, send the person on their way, go to the next one.
Yeah.
Okay? You want to spend the next half an hour talking about why are you in such a bad mood? What are you hiding? What do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like, no, one has nothing to do with the other. And two, now you're just on a power trip because you can or because you think you can.
Because I said so.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Like, is that the only power you have in your day? Is to hold someone for 20 minutes while you're giving them a ticket?
Yeah.
Well, it's the same with like the ICE officers when they're like taking people from the street and other people are recording them and they're like, you can't do that. If you're doing what you should be doing, why are you afraid to be videotaped?
That's right.
Like, if you're an officer and you're doing things ICE or not ICE and someone starts to film you, you shouldn't have to be don't film me, don't do this. If you're doing everything right and by the book and everything the way you should be, it shouldn't be a problem that you're being filmed.
Right. You should be able to say to the person, I'm Officer Beckels, I have a warrant for your arrest and here's why. This is what it looks like. Please turn around, place your hands behind your back. You may record, just please stay out of the way.
Right.
But they feel like that's them losing their power. No, you have all the power then. I'm showing you who I am. My name is Officer Beckels. Here's my number. Just step back. Whatever. Just do what you have to do. It makes no sense to me how they feel like they have to strong arm everyone and take people down to the ground. And even when they jump in their car and all of this running over people, like, y'all, this can't sit well with y'all.
No.
And the fact that this is being allowed, that no one is being held accountable, no one's doing anything about it because you're getting the bad guy off the street. No, you're not.
Right. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not getting back. And it's been proven that they're not getting back. It's like half the arrests they're making are people that don't have criminal records.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're just scooping people up off the street. Plus, if you're just scooping random people off the street, you are you're racial
Yes.
profiling. And didn't we already prove that didn't work with the war on drugs
Yes.
and like stop and frisk in New York? That
Yes.
didn't help anyone. If anything, it made everyone trust everyone way less.
Yes.
And made kids scared of cops. And so it's like we're reliving all the things we've already learned from because it's somehow we didn't learn the lessons.
Yeah.
Like, how did they not learn the lessons?
Right. How did they not learn the lessons? You know, what came to my mind is funny because there are little pieces that I even as you cut this up, I hope that you get out something for people to think about. You think about, a lot has been said about, dude, your name is Alvarez. It's Rodriguez. How can you do this? Right. So it's easy to be in this uniform and do it to people. And if you are someone of color, you want you want to make it seem like you're impartial. You want to make it seem like you're not like you're just doing your job. So you wind up overly doing it. It's just like a whether or not you're a person of color, you're black, or you're a woman, right? You don't want to seem like you're playing favorites, right? So like being in the Bureau of Prisons, someone that's gay is going after all the people that are committing, that are having sexual relations with other people. Because I don't want you to think because I'm gay that I am for that.
Oh, yes.
In my whole years, I've never walked in on anyone having sex because I'm not looking for it. Some people look for it because that way I can say, yeah, I might be gay, but I'm not for it. Black people, you see it on the videos. They be like, come on, man, and you a brother. Man, I ain't your brother, because they don't want you to think that I am, not doing my job, as opposed to just do your job, right? Women, people, and the thing about women that are officers, and some of them, because there are a couple that I really, really respect that I've seen in their work. You have to maintain who you are as a woman. What happens is in that field, you tend to want to be a part of the gang, right? So you might begin to be tough like these guys and be this and be that. And you're taking on who they are as opposed to, like, I'm a communicator, right? It takes a strong and courageous person to remain who you are and not just start doing things because other people are doing it. So then, of course, you see the videos where the woman has this attitude. She's a little more sassier, and maybe somebody will be like, oh, you're too cute to be like that. And she'd be like, what do you mean? Instead of just be professional,
right,
and do your job. Everyone takes on these other, because they don't want to make it seem like they're being easy on the black person, on that particular woman, on the gay person. So then they overcompensate.
Yep.
And that's where we lose ourselves also. Instead of, I'm an officer, this is my job, these are my duties, these are the laws, this is what authorizes my authority to do this. Everybody gets in their head, no, I don't want to seem like this way. But what winds up happening is those same people with ICE, the Ramirez's and all of that, it'll be you, and it'll be a different way. That gay person, it'll be you in a different way. Because they may not be able to come and strip you because they still need you for the numbers, but you'll be the one to take the fall for something.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at it. You'll be the one that we're outside of a place or we're about to take custody of someone. I'll say, you go do it because you're expendable. Because no matter what side you're on, if they're doing this to the people that you relate to, people of color, people that are gay, people that are women, mothers, whatever, you're expendable.
Yeah.
It's just that we're wearing the same uniform because none of that matters. Like if they're doing, and you're becoming them, you're doing it to your own people without, again, trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm an officer, but you can still feel about this, feel enough to say, wait a minute, is this right?
Right.
Enough to say, well, hold on, dude, like, well, we got the mother or the father. This kid is 10. You think we should wait for someone to come? No, we shouldn't. Okay. No one's pausing. Like, they're literally leaving children on the street unattended.
Yeah.
Leaving us unsafe, in harm's way. Our entire country, like, we've lost it. When you think about those, what was the thing with what the heck is that? Whatever his name is, the texting.
Oh, the WhatsApp group or the Signal group,
Yeah.
or when
Like,
they added they added a press, someone from the press to it,
and so when
and then we're like, no, it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
It's great.
And so again, when we think about Trump, did we really, like, do y'all really think like he's the second coming? That all of these years and all the things that we've come through and all the things we've improved upon, that we needed him to undo all of this to make life better? Like, so it's not classified. Okay. You think it's okay to talk about these wars and like how he does. Yeah, they died like a dog. It's so disrespectful.
Yep.
Having Putin as a friend and thinking, yeah, I told him just to stop, like they're just fighting. Like, when did we become so lax? And because all of these men, these cowards, are playing games that, I don't know, that they played as children and lost, and they're doing it with our lives.
Mhm.
These are the most cowardice people I've ever seen. Like, and you'll never see any of them on the front line. You'll never see any of, oh my God, it's so crazy, the world we're living in right now. And it makes me angry sometimes. Sometimes I laugh because it's like, is this really happening?
Right. Yeah, sometimes I'm just like, this can't be real. It
Yeah.
can't be. Like, how did we get here? Like, and that's,
How did we get
and
here?
it's, and I keep trying to think about how we got here and like how people, one, got so attached to their own label that one label is their whole personality.
Yeah.
And then two, like how you think someone else can't have that because that means you can't have it, where it's not pie. It's not like there's not enough to
Right.
go around.
Right.
We should have plenty of food and
Yes.
water and land and for everyone that's here.
Yes.
It's just stop hoarding it for yourself when
Yes.
you're not even using it.
Right.
And thinking that just because you're hoarding it means like you're better than that person. Like, no one is better than anyone.
No. Right. And when you think about like, when you start talking about food and hoarding, I was thinking, this guy took away the national weather, FEMA, and all of
Mhm.
that. When did everyone start caring so much about those people that have nothing to worry about? If anything happens, he's got a whole bunker.
Yeah.
The VP, all of them have a whole bunker. If an earthquake was on, they could put him in a bunker and he'd be safe. Wherever he goes, if there's a hurricane or tornado, he is safe. How do you let him be safer than us? That he think that we don't need any of the systems, that we don't need the warning that something's coming.
Right.
And how did he convince people that that's okay? Like, I don't understand. How did he convince people that we don't need a windmill or we shouldn't be concerned about climate control?
Right.
Or health insurance? That they really see this. Who names a bill Big Beautiful Bill? Like, how did this country get so stupid?
That's what I want to know.
How did it become more important now to really, like, of course, the rigging the election was huge, but it's done. It's over with. How are we still more concerned about that than the sex trafficking or the sexual abuse of these children? How do we not demand to see the Epstein files?
Well, how does anyone think that he and Epstein didn't have cahoots when there's photos and videos and we don't need a list?
No.
There was proof already. In plenty of
Trump
things he talks about it.
Trump
Like,
has said it. You see him. Anyone that says, "Ooh, you see my daughter? Ooh, I'd be dating her." Oh my gosh.
red flag.
Red flag.
Like, if that was a regular dad talking about their kid like that, that'd be a CPS investigation.
Yes.
If a dad was just talking in casual conversation, people would be like, yeah, my daughter's super hot. Don't know if she'll have a rack yet, but if she does, I'd certainly be about it.
Yes.
Someone in that
the way
room,
you say it, oh my God, yes,
someone
it's
in
true.
that room would be like, whoa, let's watch that guy.
Yes.
Pretty sure he's probably touching his kid.
Yes.
Any normal person.
And we wouldn't want him in the pageant dressing room with teenagers?
Bragging about it. I get to walk in and see those, the Miss
I get to
Teen,
inspect them.
Miss Teen USA. He brags about
Yeah.
walking through the dressing room and seeing them. You know, they have to get changed in front of me because I own it.
Yeah,
If
that's
that,
disgusting.
and it shows just how little people care about women.
Yes. Yep.
It really does. One, if we just believed women, he would have never
Yes.
gotten this far
That's
because
right.
women have said it all along.
All
He's got what?
along.
How many prove it? Like he had to pay how many people
So
for
many.
retribution? And how many court cases? How many women have come forward saying he did this to me? Like, why couldn't we just believe them?
Yep. Yeah. Yes. And that's what it comes out. Why can't we just believe them?
Right.
They all have I mean, even if it's just one, believe them, investigate it, and then you find it to be true. And he's still like,
He's
the
still
fact that he
elected.
won't reveal it now when he said he would, to me, come on, people. He's telling you, like, I just don't want you to see it, right? Like, even Bill Clinton said, they can release it. He said, I know my name's in there. Now, I don't know what part he plays in there. He probably, even just knowing that this is happening makes you wrong.
Right.
But we know that other guy was having sex with young people,
Mhm.
and it's disgusting. And so, of course, everything else that's happening, like, how did we let these people run amok?
Right.
Like you said, like the police, ICE, and it's sitting well with them that they're doing this. Like, how are we treating human beings this way? And if someone's like yelling, I'm a citizen. And first of all, you shouldn't have to yell that I'm a citizen. But then you did, and they didn't care either.
Right.
Pregnant women. What is happening? All these men are cowards. They're absolute cowards to me. And like you said, I do want to say, I know we have good officers. And we need them to speak up even more. We need them to call it out. And like I said, now we got immigration with these huge bonuses. Oh my God, who are we going to get? They don't care. It's all about the money, and more people are going to get hurt. And I'm sure none of them are going to be properly trained. And also, people are not taking it seriously. Because it's one thing, you can train someone, but if you don't take it seriously, how you're showing up, how you're presenting yourself and the badge, none of it matters.
Well, it's almost like self-respect has disappeared along with the lack of respect for other people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People aren't even respecting themselves enough to like do the right thing or to do a good job.
Yeah.
So they don't respect anyone else. And if you're not respecting yourself, you can't respect anyone else.
Yeah. There's no way you can if you're not doing this for yourself, I don't know.
And the other thing is, how do we fix it?
How do we fix
it? How do we get people to care again? How do we get people to do the right thing even when no one's looking?
Yeah. That's a really good question. And I don't know the answer to that, except for me, telling my story.
Right.
When it comes up to not just, because there's officers. No, this is wrong, that's wrong. And again, creating a space. I'm always talking to people about returning to yourself, right? Really, taking care of yourself. Just like as we all are experiencing this, the main thing is that we take care of ourselves and be around people we care about. Try to, just really care for ourselves, our mental well-being, try not to absorb so much that's happening, have an awareness, know what's going on. But everything's about frequency. If you consume it and you're like, oh my God, because that's what it is. People are losing hope. They're losing all that. Take care of yourself. Be around people that make you feel good, that you're supporting one another. Speak out, speak against, and we will gather the people we need. I don't know how, it's going to take a lot, I think, to it's not even undo. I believe when this is all said and done, I don't know how long it's going to take, we will be better for it. I don't think the U.S. will ever be what it was And I don't even think we should be,
Right.
I think there's a lot to learn in this. I think there's a lot of growing, but I think it's going to take people really speaking out. I think with our first responders, law enforcement, it's time for the family and friends to not be afraid to call them out. And then for these people to look inward, to feel it out, to, ah, I don't know, to I keep thinking if I can just get a couple of them in there just to have a conversation and get some Reiki or find themselves, like have some wellness events all over, bring the wellness to these people, to move all that gook out the way so that they can return to themselves. But a lot of it is fear, and people they don't want to be the only ones. And so I think just speaking out and also letting people know when, hey, I see you. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Like how we're saying now. We know they're good officers.
Right.
Like, don't stop being good. Be courageous, be strong, and do the right thing. Really do the right thing. And this is going to take a lot. And because they're making it so easy for people. Oh God, the people they're going to give this job to for this $50,000, there's a huge cost that's going to be paid. They're going to get this money, and then they're going to suffer. We're all going to suffer.
Yeah. And so many people are going to sign up for that and stay until they get that bonus, and then they're going to leave.
Yes.
I mean,
right. Especially if there's no plan in place, right?
Right.
Because I remember Chief Joshi, the chief Alameda Police. I had heard really great things about him. Have you ever met him?
I haven't met him.
Get him on your podcast.
Okay.
He's a good dude. He really. So when I met him, I said, I heard some good things about you. I said, I told him what my background was. I said, and they had a $75,000 bonus, I think, for Alameda Police. I said, what do you have in place that where you're not just hiring anyone? And I don't remember what it all was now, but he gave me a list of things. He said they don't get all that money at once, right? He said there's a probationary period, and he put in a system where he was overseeing it at first. Like, he really had hands on. He's got a lot of things in place, like even for his police officers. There's a system that screens their what do you call it? The recording device or whatever.
Oh, body cams?
Yeah, the body cams and the audio, and it scans for certain words and behaviors. And he has a whole group of people that if something comes up, they talk to you about it, but he also reinforces good behavior, good professionalism. He said, and I believe him, people are always so much on what's wrong. You have to also tell people, hey, you're doing a great job. You know what? I was listening to that audio. You handled that well. It's very professional. You were still, respectful, because that could have went crazy, right?
Right.
But also when you say, hey, so let me ask you a question. Do you think you had to use the F word there? It's not always, he's like really, he's catching it when it happens and doing it that way.
Well, yeah.
And he lives in Alameda. That's another thing. You know what? They need to bring back wherever you work is where you live, because they don't do that now. It's really hard to, like, let's say Oakland. Every police officer, I think, should live in Oakland.
Yep.
Because then you can care. Because you have no choice but to care a little bit because you live here. But if you live in Sacramento and you work in Oakland, you're trying to avoid stuff, right? But
Boston's always done that. So in Boston, in order to be a cop or a fireman for the first 10 years, you have to live in the city.
Yeah. And I think like New York too is the same
I think so
way.
too. Yeah. And I think it does make a difference because those guys do that. I mean, some of them, cheat the system and have two places or one place, you know what I mean? But for the most part, those guys live in that, or those men and women live in parts of that city. So they do care a little more.
Yeah.
You are going to see them out as a civilian, not just as a cop.
Yeah. Like, this is my neighborhood. Like, it's just like, being a correctional officer or even immigration, for me doing that job, eventually some of these people are going to be released. And most of the time, wherever they're incarcerated is where they're from. Yeah. Sometimes it's other places, and for me, I'm a professional anyway, but one day you may be released. And I can walk the streets of New York, Florida, here,
Yeah.
and I run into people all the time. I'm not fearful of anything happening to me because of how I treated them. But you have this mentality of, they're in here, and you're not thinking they're going to be released. So
Right.
I'm really passionate about the reentry program, right? Helping people to re-enter into society. I'm not here to make it any worse for you or to, when they're released, they could be your neighbor, they could be your server at
Yep.
a restaurant. And the crazy thing is, they'll remember you before you remember them.
Yeah.
And so I feel that way with ICE, with immigration, with corrections. They will remember you before you remember them. Now, I'm not saying that should be conversation, so I wind up doing because I
Yep.
feel like if you can, and you can take your time, just use what's important of what we
Sure.
said, because then it becomes, because I know I can go on and on and on, because I love just talking to you, because we'll be sitting up there like, oh, because there's so many ways to look at it all.
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
But you were just saying that if someone's conducting themselves professionally and they're treating people like people,
You
then
never have to worry.
yeah, you don't have to worry about if that person gets released and you run across them.
Yeah. So again, you're treating people fair, firm, and consistent. If I am doing that and I am working in the scope of my duties, like, they usually say if someone that's incarcerated likes you, you're not doing your job. I beg to differ. Okay. I happened to be well liked, but I was well respected. People knew I didn't take things personally. I didn't go after someone for, I didn't look for things, right?
Right.
And that's important. If they didn't like you, does that mean you're doing your job? Because I've seen people do some crazy stuff, and I was one of the people that would check people. They say things like, oh, yeah, they start calling people out their name or saying, I'd be like, yeah, we're not doing that.
Right.
Come on, you don't have to say that, or you don't have to do this or that. I've been in positions where I've stopped people. Hey, I think that's enough. We got them. And, and for whatever reason, somebody said it, somebody did it, and this is what most people believe. You treat them meanly and you're doing your job. I was told many times, oh, you a hugger thug. I'm not, you can call me whatever you want. But I've never been assaulted. And I've had almost 2 assaults, and they were actually 50-150. And I didn't take that personal either.
Right.
But at no time did I hit either one of those people either. I was able to use the techniques they gave me to restrain them. I've never hit anyone in my whole time.
Wow.
Right. And again, it's they train you, and and that's any of the positions, they train you. And if you take the training seriously, that comes back when you need it. And so everything for me is a scenario. It is, if this happens, I'll do that. And so, like, even with a weapon, they train you like how to be able to see what the situation is, to what do you call it?
De-escalate.
De-escalate, but also to see the threat or not see the threat, right?
Yeah.
Like even now when I have, when I go and I shoot my weapon or whatever the case, and everything that I do, because you can't take back, you have no do-overs. So you already know, scan the area, check it out. What's it, you're looking to see, is there anything here to harm me?
Right.
To me, you don't just come up and just, you go in your pocket and I shoot you. Like for me, in my mind, I have enough time that if I am watching, that once it shows itself, I can still take action, as opposed to I'm gonna take action and I'll just deal with it later, And it's just like that. Like, again, I look at ICE and all of them. You can be big and bad because you got a gun, you got a taser, you've got a baton, you've got all these things.
Right.
And corrections has now changed. They do have, I think they have body cam and maybe spray or something like that. But my whole career, I never had a baton inside the prison. I did not have, you don't have a gun inside the prison. You have your words.
Yeah.
And the skills, the training that they gave you. So for me, it's about communication. I could talk my way out of anything. And for those that be like, oh, well, you worked in a female facility. I've worked in men and women. And Again, validating people's story. All people that are incarcerated are not bad.
Right.
A lot have, I would say, really, I'll say saved my life or protected me. There's nothing like coming or walking into a violent situation and it's just you. And I've been able to call out the person's name and they'll turn around and see it's me and say, ah, damn, and we'll turn around and cuff up.
Yeah.
Or listen to my commands, or something will break out in front of me. And I've had gang members flank me to protect me, right? While all hell is breaking loose in front of
Right.
me, And so because they liked me and respected me, they didn't want harm to come to me. Not everyone is bad. And the same thing happens on the other side. If you intentionally treat people cruelly and all of that, they also find a way to get you back.
Right.
I hate to say that, but for me, every day was like, I just want to go home. Like, I'm not here to make anyone's day worse than what it is, like, why would I do that?
Right.
But, I was going to say, all those years of not having a weapon, it's easy to be out here and do that with a weapon. I think that's why I chose that, in being from the East Coast. New York was New York City's finest because they were known for their professionalism and all of that. Firemen, New York City's bravest because they showed it. They would go into any burning building. And corrections was New York City's boldest because we went in without any weapons. You had just your communication skills. That's all you had.
Right.
And
I don't think I realized that. I don't think I realized that most corrections officers didn't carry a weapon in the jail.
And now it's a little different. It might have some type of pepper spray or something else, but no, when I worked in Varick Street in New York, that was immigration. We had something broke out. The officers were assaulted in the dorm area or whatever, and we were able to get them out. And so now the whole dorm, I don't remember how many detainees were in there, but they wouldn't come out. And it was just a few of us, and we alerted all the people on the outside. We had special agents and New York City police around the perimeter of the building. Then they came upstairs because they were going to help us take back the processing center. And the control room officer says, okay, so here, let me give you keys for you guys to lock up your weapon. They was like, lock up our weapon?
Right.
Like, yeah, you can't come in the institution with the weapon. They're like, oh, well, we'll maintain the perimeter. I'll never forget that day.
Wow.
The special agents and the police went back downstairs and they were on the perimeter of the building. And so we just activated everyone for our institution and they came in and we took back our prison.
Wow.
Because they were afraid to come in without a gun. And we did it without a gun, And it's just, so I have such a pride. Oh, there's so much pride for this. And the fact that they messed it up. Like, yeah, some of them really messed it up.
Yeah.
Because it's not required. Now, every situation. So for me, I feel like it's just like when you meet someone, right? You might meet a bad person, right? Like you just didn't get along. Oh man, they suck. Do you set yourself up for everybody being the same way? No, you take each experience differently. And that's how I took the experiences in the prison and even in my everyday life. Just because this person's a horrible person doesn't make everyone else one.
Right.
In prison, somebody will have a medical emergency and some people be like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with them. It's not my job to determine if there's anything wrong with them. I treat it like everything's an emergency. Right. Let those other people, the medical people, determine that. But just like now, this is what they do. They're using their own personal experiences and what they believe. Oh, that person's faking it. Oh, they said they can't breathe. They can breathe. How about you do your job? How about you listen and take action that way? And don't do more and don't do less. Do what you were trained to do. Be a human being. And for me, how would you feel? How would you want to be treated in that situation? I'd want you to listen to me. I would want you to give me a chance to live.
Right.
I'd want you to see that what I'm taking out of my pocket. I want you to give me the opportunity to show you what I'm showing you. And I don't want you to let your fear dictate how you treat me.
Especially if your job is to not be fearful.
Right.
If you take a job in any one of these roles, you're choosing to be fearless.
Yes.
Or at least you should be, because
Yeah.
you're choosing to do a job. I don't do that job because I know that my fear would dictate how I act.
Right.
So I wouldn't be good at that job.
That's why they call it the ultimate sacrifice. And the best way to put it, I'm sure we probably have to come to a close.
Mm.
September 11th. I will never forget those firefighters. No one ran away.
No.
They knew what they signed up for. They were there for the community, and they all ran into the towers.
Yep. And some of them over and over again.
Over and over
until
and
they
over
didn't run
again.
out again.
And I forgot how many flights. The thought of that. And they tried.
Yeah.
The hell?
Yeah. My brother's a fireman. I could never do his job, ever. And all the
Girl.
time, like, he finally was pushing papers for a while, and I had this weird sense of relief that I didn't really know where it was coming from. And then he went back to a house now. So now he's back to a house. And my mother told me, and I immediately, my base level anxiety had changed. And I was like, oh, it's because there's a small part of me that's always worried.
Yeah.
Just like his wife is, just like his kids probably are. His kids probably don't, they grew up with it. But like, he was at the bombing in Boston for the marathon.
Oh, yeah.
He was actually running it, and he hit just after the bomb hit, he was hitting the corner that you turn. And so he ran right to his firehouse, got changed, and went out. Yep. And like, I calling him I'd been watching on TV, and I call and I'm like, where are you? What's going on? And he's like, the kids are home. Like, Patty's good. She wasn't too far. Like, this part of our family's up there. We don't know where this person is. And we're piecing it together. And he's like, all right, I got to go. I'm changing. I'm like, what do you mean you're changing? He's like, I'm at the firehouse. And I'm like, where are you going? And he's like, I got to go help. And I was like, dude, you just ran 26 miles. Like, just because you didn't hit the last 0.4 doesn't mean you go to work. And he's like, I got to go to work. This is what I signed up for.
That's right.
So the rest of the night, I'm calling, just checking in with people. Like, have we heard from him? What's going on? What's this? Yeah. Watching the news like a fiend. And it's like, I could never do that job.
Yes. And you know what? What's great is you can say that.
Yeah.
I know I couldn't. And that's what it's going to take. Ask yourself, can I really do this job? Yep. Right? Like, I could not be a firefighter. Yep. I much respect for firefighters. At a time there was police and all of them. And so those people need to really ask themselves, can you do it? Because there's going to come a time that we're going to know for sure when that you could.
Yep.
Right. And that's going to cost lives also. You know, in the profession I was in, I mean, many people throughout time, and this is all of them, have lost lives because you were supposed to respond and you froze.
Yep.
Right. And sometimes that happens. I get it. But you also know before that moment whether or not you're actually going to be there, right. And I can say for most of them people out there that's out here doing this job and you're going to freeze. Those people are cowards. You have to ask yourself, okay, firefighter, can I run into a burning building?
Right.
Can I run up the flight of the tower? Police officer, can I run into whatever situation it is and know that I have everything I need and I have to be there? I've got to defend. I've got to protect people. Corrections. Can I respond to this officer needing assistance? All of it is, can I respond? Right? EMT. Don't take that job if you know you don't like to see blood. Like, for real. Like, don't think it ain't going to happen to you, because one day, like firefighters, they're like, sometimes there are probably some people that maybe only been to 2 fires. I don't even care. Right. You are there to do it. And I know you're going, because one day you're going to have to prove it at least once in your career that you could be there.
Yeah.
And if you can answer yourself, you can do it, then just do it. Because it is what you signed up for. It is the ultimate sacrifice. And if you can't do it, then don't take the job. Not even for $50,000.
No. Because because if you can't say yes in that moment, and you're sitting at this coffee table or this table and you're like, yeah, I don't think I could do it. That's the automatic, like, you can't do that job. Nope. Because if you show up and you don't do it, then you just put all the people that are in there in harm's, your as they say, your brothers in blue or your firefighter blood, like, you're just putting those people in further danger.
Yes.
So just find a different career, find a different...
Yeah. And that's what I've always thought of. Like, every day for me, it was like, okay, can I respond? Can I respond? And scared and everything, but it's like, yes, I can. Like I always say, win, lose, or draw, At least I'm gonna go out knowing that I didn't leave someone waiting for me.
Mm.
Right? Leaving somebody waiting for me to help them, to assist them. I didn't make it worse for them. I didn't cause this. Any of these ICE officers that get injured, like, you caused it.
Right.
You caused it. Even if you were told to do this, there's a way to do it. You don't have to come in and just start throwing people down. At least show us that you're trying. Hey, this is who I am. This is why I'm here. I need you to come with me. Okay, you won't. And then what is the next step? They're bypassing all of the steps.
Right. They're just literally
Right.
grabbing people off
Yeah.
the street.
If they follow the steps, we could at least all be watching like, okay, check. Oh, okay. And then they ran. Not like you just bum rushed them, threw them down to the ground. These days, people are going to resist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who you are.
Right.
I'm going to resist. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're taking me. Wow.
Yeah. And just even if as an immigration officer, think about if you're on the street and someone comes up and just tries to grab you, you're not just going to go with them.
Yeah, you're not.
Like, we're human beings. We're not trained to do that. We're
Yep.
trained to ask questions. We're trained to ask, like, where are you taking me? Why is this happening? That's human nature.
Yep.
So to think that people are just going to throw that out the window because you say that you're this person,
Yeah.
but with no real identification, your face is all covered up. You're like, I would never go with someone just easily
Neither
with
would
that.
I.
You're going to take me kicking and screaming.
Yeah. They've always said, never go to the second location.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are fighting, right? And right now there's enough of them that they're able to do it. But this is why people are fighting. People are disappearing every day. Why should they trust that you're who you say you are?
Right.
They're making it easy for everyone else to set up a whole ring, and that is disturbing that the people in authority and power are not seeing it for what it is. People are scared.
Right. Yeah. And it's like the government seems to just trying to make people more scared.
Yep.
And smaller and more easily controllable.
Yep.
And if they want to control, like taking away some of those books and things, if someone doesn't want you to read a book, it's because they don't want you to learn how to think differently. They don't want you to have a different perspective.
Yep.
We should be shoving books in people's faces, not trying to take them away.
Yep. Yeah, and dismantling history, like you really don't want people, like, he had something removed from the Smithsonian, his impeachment. They had to they put it back though or something. Like, it doesn't make it not have happened.
Right.
It happened. Like, this is how we learn. We learn from our mistakes. We learn from history. We learn from reading knowledge. People say ignorance is bliss. No, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit up here and like, I'll act like nothing's happening. Well, I don't know. I am that researcher. I am, matter of fact, I was thinking I need to pull out, I actually pulled out some, I still have my binder from immigration, and it makes me want to kind of refresh things,
Right.
because
it would be interesting to see too what your binder looks like versus what someone today's binder looks like, and what have they changed?
Yes, if they even get it right.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There was this guy. I think he played. He was an act. He's an actor. I think he played one of the Supermans, and I saw it pop up. And I don't know if he was joking, and I hope he was joking. He was like, "Yeah, I was told that I could be an immigration officer, so I'm going to take the oath." And I'm just wondering, like, they're hiring him and moving him so fast. Are they just giving them an oath? Because even with them saying, "Oh, Trump is deputizing people," I mean, as the president, can you deputize people? Okay, you probably could, but why would you just deputize people on the street? Why would you go into a Dairy Queen and say, "Hey, you're now a deputy"? Like, why would you? Why wouldn't you want people to go away for, at the time when I went, it was 8 weeks of training. I think it might be 16 now.
Good.
I know they're not going away for that.
No, not also getting all of that money and benefits, and like they're not.
You're giving these people a gun, a badge,
and minimal training,
which
is going to cause way more problems,
and they
not
have
less.
no experience.
Yeah. And if it's a 20-year-old kid who has zero life experience, and then you're trying to tell them to not be fearful and to go out and do this, and that they have all the power and the rights and no one else does, it's just making a militarized country.
Yes. And it's funny. Every time you say 18, I think about my kids. I love my sons to death, 18 and 20. I think they are so dope. I think they are great thinkers. They're kind people and all that. Guess what I think they couldn't do? That job.
Mm. I have 21-year-olds that come in the bar and I am like, you're a goddamn moron. Like,
Right. Can you imagine?
I can't imagine them being in charge of anything. They can't even order drinks properly.
Right. You can't help but when you think of that age, you start thinking about who do I know at that age, right? You go into any high school now and look at any of them seniors, you're thinking, oh, it's the same with our military. I feel the same way.
Right.
The difference with the military is we know, I don't think any 18-year-old should go to war, but there's training involved. They're training you to be a particular thing. But yeah, you're taking people out of high school and it's like, yeah, now you're a police officer. Now you're ICE. What do you know about life? What do you know about this? Like you've had no life experiences, no real life experiences.
Right.
Like you said, like they can't even order a drink. Some of them can't even ask someone out on a date.
Right.
I mean, like for real.
Yeah, some of them have a hard time looking me in the face when I'm checking their IDs. They're like, I'm like, welcome to the bar. Or they think that someone there is going to protect them from something. Like I had a kid mouthing off. And I finally looked at him. I was like, someone's going to punch you in the mouth and I'm going to laugh.
Yes.
And he looked at me and he was like, well, that can't. And I was like, yeah, this is the real world, babe.
Yes.
I'm like, the way you act, someone's going to pop off because you're talking shit. And I'm going to laugh because I've been watching you be an asshole for the last 2 hours. And I keep trying to like guide you a little. But it's also not my job to teach you not to be an asshole.
Yes.
I mean, as a dive bartender, it kind of is.
Right.
But also, like, you're going to get punched in the face and nobody's going to care.
No one's going to care.
And then another one said something and I was just like, shut the fuck up. And he's like, you can't talk to me like that. I'm like, who's going to stop me?
Right.
And if you can't take that, you can't take someone breaking a law. Like, you can't be in charge of.
It's one thing. Like, I understand. Like, I realize, like, you get this badge, you get all this stuff, you think you're this powerful person, whatever. But it doesn't make you stronger or better than anyone. Like, you never know, right? And so that's the other thing. I never underestimated anyone. So for me, I'd rather talk to you. I was telling someone the other day, I went through my whole career never knowing if I could really kick someone's ass or not.
Right.
But the way I treated, like, I feel like I could really handle my own, but I'm so thankful I never had to know.
Right.
Like, to this day, I'll never know. But everyone I dealt with, they'd be like, oh, I know Ms. Beckels ain't playing. And I'll just be like, yeah, you're right. Because it's the tone. It's how I treat them.
Right.
And so I never had to prove it, right? And even if someone said anything crazy, like I'm just not going to put myself in that position because I might lose, right? In my mind, I'm like, I'm not losing. But who wants to even do that? And there are a lot of people in those positions that think, well, because of the badge, you shouldn't mouth off to me.
Right.
But then you do, and now they got something to prove. And there's no way. Like you said, because you can't beat everyone. And sometimes people have a bad day, men and women. Men have they have a habit of underestimating women.
Yes.
Overestimating themselves, underestimating women. And so that's also a big thing, right? And you got these little young dudes that they were told that, oh yeah, you can always beat a woman. If you underestimate them and they get the first hit, they know they got to make it good. You could possibly. I've seen guys get knocked out by women because they underestimated them.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you got all these little young dudes becoming these officers, and you were told whatever you were told by your dad and your uncle and all the people in the world that you're watching, all these misogynists, and then you still are not communicating. You're setting yourself up, like you said, you're in the bar and you're talking like, oh, well, they already got all this courage.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just ego too.
Yes, all ego, right. And for me, it's like, no, if I can communicate, like I could, my whole career, never having fought anyone. No, I don't need to know that I could have won.
Right.
I won because I didn't have to hurt anyone, and they didn't have to hurt me. Everything I've ever done has been, if we had to do it, and there were procedures to do it. I don't have to hit you. I don't have to bring out a baton. No, there are certain ways you restrain people. And if there's enough of you, like these streets, you don't need to hit them.
Right.
That's what I don't get. There's so many of y'all. Grab an arm, get the cuffs on. There's some up there just come out swinging. That tells me you're wrong too.
Yeah.
You're scared, you're cowards, and you're just swinging. There's enough of you. Follow the procedure. Use those little restraining techniques, to subdue a person. Yeah.
Well, Karen, I know we have to let you go, but I want to know what else is going on in your world before we let you go. what else are we looking forward to?
Mm.
I mean, because you're still out in the streets, but you're
I'm out here in
healing.
these streets. Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's always healing and always um how else I can serve the community. So, as you know, I just came up on 7 years
I know.
sobriety. And
Congratulations.
thank you. And it's funny. I've been asked, oh, so did you do AA? And I don't just all that's fine, but I didn't do it that way. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm developing a sober community
Amazing.
to gather. Because some people maybe it is AA, or maybe it's not, or maybe it's a combination.
Yeah.
The thing with AA for me, and this is just me, I didn't want to. When I used to go years ago, it was, my name is Karen, I'm alcoholic. And then you talk about your time or this crazy day you're having. For me, it's from the time I decided to stop, it was about, okay, how do I want to feel? I want to feel better. Like I have just the whole healing, but also being a community of people that maybe, of the same mindset that want to try something different, right? Like I can go to a bar. I mean, this is not everybody, but I'm just saying because I've made it so much about my healing and what it is I want for myself, and I want to bring together a community where those people that want to do something different, that whether it's alongside of AA or any other organization or aside from it, just
Mm,
something different. So I'm putting together a program with that.
that's
Still teaching.
amazing.
I think so, and I probably didn't make it sound great, but
No, no. Once you have it, and you're come back and talk
oh,
to
I
us about
will.
that, and
Yes,
tell
for
us because I
sure.
know a lot. I've interviewed a few people here that are sober and didn't get sober with AA and didn't like AA.
Yeah.
I've also talked to a lot of people that have, but I was not when I got. I mean, I'm not sober, but when I kicked all my opiate stuff,
Right.
I thought about going to NAs, and I was like, I don't want to dwell on all of this stuff that had
Yes.
happened. Like, I want to move forward. I want to talk about where I want to go, and there
Right.
wasn't a space for that.
Right. And that's what I realized. So I want to create a spaces like that. Those that this is what they need, or transitioning from that. Because to me it is like you're constantly reliving where you were and acknowledging that I am. Like I can tell you, oh yeah, I was definitely an alcoholic. But I'm not gonna stand up and tell you, Siobhan, I am an alcoholic. I'm not. I do not drink. I am
Right.
sober. So I'm saying what it is that I am. I live a sober life. I don't have to say that I was alcoholic for you to know that if I'm saying I live a sober life now and I'm celebrating it, for you to know that these were some vices.
Right.
And so I just want to give other people a different way of uh, creating their life, creating their
Mm.
own 12 steps to go alongside or standing, something different. Like I do know people also that don't go to bars, that don't hang out in certain environments because of the drinking. So let's get a sober environment where you can still have a good time, just be in community with people.
Mm.
So that's part of it. Let's see, what else? What else am I doing? I'll come back when I make my
Yeah.
other major announcement. But just being in community and
And teaching, you're still
yeah,
teaching.
still teaching. I want to do some more community wellness events. Anybody else listening, I'm trying to, I've got my first firefighter. I have one client that's a firefighter. So I want to get into the first responders, police, firefighters, ICE, all of them, to give them a safe space to
Mm-hmm.
come and get Reiki, to talk. I know sometime with them, it may be not feeling safe, right? Like, yeah, you can bring your weapon, you can bring your credentials, and you're good, right? But just come and be safe and to speak and to just be, to heal.
Well, let me know how to help with that because I do have such an admiration for first responders.
So do
I grew up,
I.
my best friend's dad was a homicide detective growing up. So growing up around cops and like I said, my brother's a fireman and like I love those people. And I
Yeah.
think so many of them do a great job and we don't always give them the best support.
Yes. And so that's what I want to do. I want to support them, to just clear that energy, a time to just be in a safe place where you don't have to, worry about, like what anyone around you, but also a safe place to talk, right?
Right.
If because they're also not talking amongst each other, and if they do, it's still like it could be like because I'm just part of it. It could be like I'm scared, but no one's really like, yeah, I'm scared, and what else? Or maybe I'm not scared, but maybe I've seen this or I've seen that, or this is hard for me to heal from. I just want to be part of their healing
Mm.
and Yeah. I
I
mean,
love
it's
that.
so much. I don't know. I'm here.
Mm. Well, thank you so much, Karen.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
your insights and for the conversation. And
Yeah.
thank you for all the good that you're doing in the world.
Why, thank you. It's always nice to talk with you. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
And thank you all for listening. And I hope you go find some joy today.